He looks like he's taking down some of the neutral buildings just north of that base at the 7 o'clock position. He's taking out one of the neutral buildings there. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is, but Nara is now ready to move out, and he's got a superior ground force compared to Goodfriend. He was able to keep his economic macro advantage going despite losing a few SCVs to Goodfriend's vulture harass and initial attack. Goodfriend's got a decent sized force though, but I feel Nara probably has a slightly superior force on the ground right now. Remember, he put his armies up much earlier as well, so I have a feeling his upgrades are higher. He's also got dropships, which Goodfriend doesn't have, and that's going to be vital in this map, playing on this map, the dropships, because of the fact that you've got these neutral buildings blocking the different exits to various base positions. So Nara just setting up a siege in the middle of the map with his siege tanks and Goliaths, and just trying to get a little bit more advanced position and trying not to get locked into his base. Clearly, as the game progresses, holding the middle expansions is going to be key as the resources in the expansions on the edges run out. But I don't think that's going to happen to Nara anytime soon. So Nara macroing very heavily, just continuing to produce units and spread himself across the map. Both players playing very circumspect. I feel we haven't seen too much harass or pushing or attacking by either player. Looks like Goodfriend is now ready to make a push. Obviously, he's the player who is in a slightly disadvantageous position, realizing that he's behind in terms of economy, realizing that he has to be the one who has to be the aggressor. So he's going to now push out at the 1 o'clock base of Nara. Nara's going to come in from the rear here and is going to try and take Goodfriend from behind. Goodfriend might be in a little bit of trouble if those siege tanks get caught off guard. There are a couple of spider mines that Goodfriend has left behind, but Goodfriend pushing in now. He's going to be ready to siege his tanks. The only problem is that he's not going to have he's got a couple of Goliaths as well, but the Goliaths are going to be behind the tanks from where Nara's approaching. Nara now coming with the dropships. He needs to make sure that he moves those dropships out before those Goliaths take him out. So Nara has gotten his units there. He's dropped on top of the Goodfriend's force, and Goodfriend's actually lost his entire force and doing little to no damage. He killed a few SCVs that Nara had there, a few of the SCVs that Nara had at the he's got a few vultures in as well, but they're going to get taken out without doing too much damage, and those vultures are actually going in to harass at the 3 o'clock base of Nara, just Nara's natural expo, but it's not going to bother Nara too much. He might lose a few SCVs in the process, but I don't think it's going to bother him too much, because Goodfriend has lost his entire ground force, and now it's Nara's time to counter and set up a contain against Goodfriend. Nara with the dropships. Nara in a huge lead in this game right now, 3 dropships plus a massive ground force. I don't think Goodfriend has any dropships as yet. Goodfriend trying to push out and trying to prevent Nara from boxing him in. He's managed to take out Nara's force here, but Nara should have reinforcements arriving soon. Nara with a couple of siege tanks left, he's bringing more reinforcements in with the dropship. Goodfriend has got a few spider mines and turrets to defend that base that Nara looks like he's going for a drop at the 7 o'clock position. If Nara can get a drop going here, Goodfriend's going to be in huge trouble. So Nara dropping, luckily for him, just out of range of those spider mines, but one of the Goliaths taking damage. So Nara now knows that the spider mines are there because one of the Goliaths took damage from it, but he is within range of that command center, so it's not going to be able to mine anymore. And Goodfriend in huge trouble because Nara is attacking him from 2 flanks, and he's managed to, I think, actually clear out the push that Nara had established. He's going to be sending reinforcements down south, but he isn't able to get in range while Nara continues to harass his SCVs, and Goodfriend having to commit himself more and more by just sending those Goliaths, just streaming those Goliaths in, and Nara needs to micro a little bit better here, take that Goliath out, while Goodfriend's finally been able to kill Nara's siege tank, but by the time he gets down here, Nara's doing massive damage to his economy, taking down most of the SCVs at that 7 o'clock position. Goodfriend's lost most of the SCVs there, and I feel Nara would be in a better position to cover this. Nara keeping the pressure on, and really, if you allow player to have the kind of maneuverability that Goodfriend's allowing Nara to have with the dropships, you're asking for trouble, because Nara is just able to fly anywhere it will, focus Goodfriend's defenses where he wants them to be focused. Goodfriend has got a few turrets up in his main as well, but I don't think he's got enough turrets up everywhere to defend, and he's still a little bit vulnerable, and even if he did have the turrets, I still think those dropships are a good play. So Nara getting in a massive drop, and he is now at the soft underbelly of the Terran defense. He's going to be able to attack Goodfriend's supply depots, and he's actually within range of those factories as well. So Goodfriend in huge trouble. If Nara can take some of those supply depots down, then Goodfriend's going to be in trouble. Nara did lose a couple of, and the science facility goes down. The army is going to come under attack as well. Nara in a very strong position right now. His economy untouched. He's got the lead of an expansion as well. Goodfriend sending his SCVs in to try and take that. He's already lost a lot of SCVs down at the 7 o'clock base. He really cannot afford this right now. Looks like Goodfriend's upgraded 1-0 on his siege tanks. Nara, I couldn't tell. Sorry guys, the resolution on my screen just isn't good enough for me to tell what the upgrades are, or maybe I'm just blind. Nara only has a couple of dropships left, but I don't think it's going to matter. Those dropships did what they were meant to do, and he's going to come in and be able to break this defense of Goodfriend's again with the dropships, even if losing them in the process. Goodfriend only had a couple of siege tanks there. Nara could continue to push forward. Goodfriend still hasn't been able to clear out Nara's units. Nara still has 1 siege tank and a handful of guys. That siege tank finally gets taken down, but Goodfriend still hasn't been able to clear that. Nara's bought himself more than enough time, and now he's in Goodfriend's natural expo, and Goodfriend's going to lose a hell of a lot more SCVs here as well as ground units. He managed to kill one of the siege tanks and Goliath of Nada's attacking forces, but meanwhile he's lost all the SCVs that he had in his natural expo. He pulled them out to provide cover and try and do some damage to that push of Nada's, and really this game is just slipping away from Goodfriend. I think there's very little he can do at this point in time. Nada meanwhile just spreading himself all over the map, setting up expansions at the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock positions as well, and little to no hope for Goodfriend. And really you've just got to say this hasn't been a special game by any means. You've just seen heavy macro from both Terran players, with Nada just doing that little bit better bit in his macro. Goodfriend had his chance earlier on in the game when he pushed out with the vultures, committing himself to that attack. Excuse me, and he obviously did not do enough damage to Nada to actually be able to put himself in an advantageous position. Nada defended well, managed to survive. Nada losing the last of his dropships to those turrets, but it's not going to bother him because he's managed to land his forces down, and he's again doing massive damage to Goodfriend's economy while continuing to expand himself. And really, unless Nada makes a massive error, which I don't think Nada's the type of player that he would. He's not the type of player that would throw a game away when he was in a strong position like Goodfriend did in game 1 or Shark did in game 3. I don't think Nada is that type of player, even though he was caught by surprise by the proxy DT rush. But I think at this stage Nada is so comfortable. He's just going to completely take this game, especially Terran versus Terran. It's that much harder to reverse the lead that a player has. But if you can set some sort of a defense going and turtle a little bit, you can fight yourself back in the game. I just don't think Goodfriend's going to be able to do it, to be honest. So Nada looks like he's going to go through to the losers final and have another crack at getting through to the next round. Goodfriend looks like he's out. His resurgence ends here, and he hasn't really done enough to excite me, to be honest, that I would feel that it is a loss. There are more than enough Terran players as it is. I don't think there's a shortage of Terran players in the OSL or the MSL for that matter. So I don't think that Goodfriend not qualifying is going to be a massive loss to anybody. Nada breaking through that neutral building, which is the weakest point since it's only got a single neutral building. It's the fast one to break through. So Nada breaking through that neutral building. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, Nada breaking through the neutral building at the 7 o'clock position versus Goodfriend. I suppose it is the weakest position because it's furthest from the base, and Goodfriend, having a limited amount of units, has to defend his natural expo and main and the open entrance into that, which leaves that 7 o'clock base that little bit more vulnerable. Looks like he's going to lose the command center now as well to Nada's attacking forces, and Goodfriend meanwhile is taking out Nada's expansion to the 6 o'clock position. It's not going to bother Nada because he's got another expansion. He's got so much lead compared to Goodfriend. He's got an expansion in the middle of the map as well as an expansion at the 12 o'clock position, and now he's going to be taking out most of Goodfriend's forces at the 6 o'clock position. This is the bulk of Goodfriend's offensive forces that are going to get taken out by Nada. Nada doing a pincer attack from both sides and comfortably killing Goodfriend's forces. He's just got so much superiority in numbers and resources that there's little to nothing that Goodfriend can do. Goodfriend does have another expansion, which is primarily a gas expansion just south of his main at the 8 o'clock at the 9 o'clock position, but that's not going to do him any good, and really just limited to a small corner of the map now, and it's only a matter of time, and he really should GG, but obviously he's trying to fight to his last breath. He's got a couple of dropships out now as well, but unfortunately it's too little too late. Nada had superior maneuverability. Not only did he have superior ground forces, but he also had superior maneuverability for so much time in the game, and there was nothing Goodfriend could do about it. I think he's realizing that now. I think he's about to GG. He did manage to clear out Nada's units just south of his base, but Nada's got another attack going, and Nada has kept once he survived that first attack from Goodfriend and that contain was let off. Nada has kept the pressure on Goodfriend straight from the get-go, and I think Goodfriend made a little bit of a mistake. If he'd gotten siege mode quickly enough and sieged outside of the contain he had set up for Nada and kept Nada contained within there, I think that would have been his best bet. But obviously Nada was going for the dropships to try and cancel that out, and perhaps Nada would have been able to cope with it nevertheless. But I think that would have been Goodfriend's best bet once he did some early harass on Nada. So Goodfriend GG's, Nada takes the victory. He goes through to the next round. This is Klazart. Thanks for listening.
활성화시키고 난 이후에 의외의 이기상을 맞으면서 경기가 꼬이는 게 아닌가 그런 생각이 들었었는데 특유의 정확한 플레이와 정확한 판단으로 결국 원래대로 경기를 다시 이끌었어요. 자신이 유리했던 그대로 주도권 절대 놓지 않고 결국 이병민 선수를 KO시키는 모습이었습니다.
자, 그러다면 이윤열 선수는 침착하게 대응하면서 서경정 선수의 데뷔를 통해서 다시 한번 16강의 문을 높여할 수 있는 자격을 가지게 됐습니다. 자, 이병민 선수는 MBC게임 A매치 이런 9번째 경기를 진행하게 됐고요. 이윤열 선수는 마지막 최종전 서경정 선수와의 콜로세움의 경기를 남기도록 했습니다. 그렇게 되는 데 걸린 시간은 19분 23초였습니다.